So there we go. Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday night, Assetto Corsa Competizione, round number 5 of this championship, and we head to Imola. We did have Ashley, who was going to be racing. He got disconnected, so he's joined us in the commentary box. Ashley, how are you doing? I'm not used to your little pink block that you have there. It's normally bright red.
I'm very well, thanks to you, Dylan. And I'm actually hoping to get out onto free practice. I managed to reconnect again. So I just managed to, I'm just putting everything back in again. I'm just going to connect my microphone and then I can talk to you while I race.
That is fantastic. And we've got Duncan from the UK. He's also currently sitting in our commentary box, and every now and again we like to just give Duncan a little chat. Duncan, it's always cool to have our internationals sitting with us, so good evening to you.
Good evening.
Looking forward to some Imola racing this evening?
Chilling, watching, enjoying. That's what life's about at the minute.
No, 100%. So guys, I see that there's just 2 minutes left of that little 5-minute qualifying session that they had. Which is essentially when the guys go and they do their driver's briefing. After that, we'll go straight into a 10-minute practice, followed by that 45-minute race. So we can just cut across, and as you can hear, that the sound is working correctly. And compared from Monday night to this evening, there hasn't really been anything that has changed. The only thing that I changed was I turned the computer on and off, and that seemed to have solved the problem. So very, very crazy for that to have happened. Having a look at some of the comments that are coming through. Good evening, Johan VDV. First dibs there for you. And saying, finally got fibre sorted at my house, and that is fantastic. So we are definitely hoping that we'll see some more of you racing. 100% Johan, is that we do have some things we need to just finalize, so that would be absolutely fantastic. Let's just return, there we go. So we are in the 10-minute qualifying, 11 drivers this evening. We have lost a few drivers, due to load shedding, and just some of the guys not having this DLC, which is a bit unfortunate. The Imola track is definitely one of my favorites here on the Assetto Corsa, and looking forward to seeing how these guys get themselves around here this evening. Just want to bring up the points standings, because we have had some changes in the points, and those points are currently looking as follows. If we start down, we did have 25 drivers that have entered into this. You can see we are just halfway through, only 10 drivers here this evening. So just having a look at the drivers that are currently on screen. We'll start off with let's start off round about 14th place is Ethan. Ethan's currently 15th place, 14th place is Mebel. Connor, he's in 13th place with Marshall in 12th. Ronaldo, he's in 11th place. Then Ashley is the highest of the top 10 drivers. Paul, he won't be racing with us anymore. Unfortunately, that PlayStation has been sold, so he won't be coming back. We have Craig, who's currently in 8th place. He is 18 points behind Pete. Pete currently in 7th place. Morris is in 6th, and I'm pretty sure that he'll be looking for a good result here. Tied with Pete is Morris, but having a higher result last week, it puts him just above him. Then looking in 5th place for the Green Mambas, that is Jacques. 106 points there for him, with Stephen, the Black Mamba, 108. So only 2 points separating those two drivers. Then Jacques, after a 6th place finish for him last week, that drops him down the order, because we now have Ross for the Green Mambas, who moved himself up into 2nd place, and Jason, the Black Mamba driver, he puts himself top with 22 points clear from Ross, who's in that 2nd place. making sure that we have all our track information. And guys, just remember, this is proudly brought to you by Deliver Your Parcel. And if you go to the website www.deliveryourparcel.co.za, you're able to get an exclusive Deliver Your Parcel preferential rate by just referencing SARCO, and that discount will be applied for you. So definitely go and check them out, make use of their service. They are the preferential service provider for SARCO. So looking at Morris, who is 0.2 seconds off Jacques. Morris was in the 144s in that practice, but very, very close, because you can see 0.28 is Craig in third place, 0.29 is Jason in fourth place. So 4 drivers separated by less than 0.3 of a second. That is absolutely incredible how close that is. So guys, if you are on the stream and you have joined us this evening, welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to just drop us a message. Let us know that you are here. Let us know what you think of the track. We definitely want to hear from you. Who do you think is going to take the race this evening? There are many, many questions and variables that can happen. So really looking forward to hearing from you. So having a look at Marshall, he is going to be the only chasing a beaver this evening, and that is because Imola is unfortunately on a business trip, so he won't be racing. We do have Sly Pete in that 777. It looks like he is off the track for some reason. Maybe that was just Cameron having his little moment there, and way too much zoom in. Ashley down in 8th place.
Thank you.
You'll move that Mercedes-Benz further up the order. Ryan Abrams, he's in 9th, still needing to put a time with Ronaldo, getting the close up there by Karamansim once again. Then we do have James, on the side of the road there. Rafiki Zade might have just had himself a little off, so he's still under lots of pressure to get that lap time in, considering there's only 3.5 minutes left to go. So seeing some messages coming through. Dion van Heerden saying, how's it guys? I miss racing. Well, Dion, bring and come with the PlayStation and come and join us, man. So Jason now currently the fastest around the track here at Imola. 143.8. That's now opened him the gap between himself and Marius, who is now currently second by 0.4 of a second. Jacques, half a second is the distance there with Craig, 0.8. Stephen 1.3, Marshall 1.3, Ronaldo 1.7, Pete 1.7, Ashley 1.9. Connor still needs to get that lap. Ryan still needs to get a lap in, but we do see him circulating currently as he goes through Varianta Alto, now heading down the hill. So go through turn number 13 to Ravaza. That's turn 14 and 15, and from there he'll be able to go through Bassa to get himself a lap. Good evening, Pete. So Peter joining us on Facebook. We do know that he is racing as Ryan approaches the line. He crosses the line now and gets himself 3.1 seconds off the pace there. Last person to get a lap time in is James as he crosses the line. no time there. So it does look like he'll be starting at the back. Dion's saying he'll be back in a few months' time. 100%. Dion, really looking forward to your return. It's always great to have drivers filling up these grids and some close competitive racing. So definitely had, especially when Dion is there, keeping a lot of those alpha tier drivers on his toes, on their toes, his toes, their toes. So we see 45 seconds left of qualifying as some drivers start crossing line. We see Morris, he's pulled over to the side of the track, so that will be his qualifying session over as we see that he's now gone into the pits. Jacques really attacking those curbs nice and aggressively, going into Tamburello, but now going into Villeneuve chicane. Now goes around turn number 7, now back up the hill, making sure that he gets maximum traction. Now up through a very tricky turn, number 8, Brentella, that the curve on the outside, you are able to go a little bit wide, but it definitely unstabilizes the car. Now through Minerali, you want to be able to just get those gear downs nice and consistent and nice and flowing on the gear change down. You don't want to unstabilize that car on the brakes. Now into Valiente Alta. It's a very tricky chicane, but you can see you are able to take quite a bit of the curbs going through that chicane. And we have seen the F1 drivers going through there at approximately 140 kilometers an hour, which is absolutely incredible in terms of pace through there. So cameraman Tim definitely likes it close up there as Jacques comes out of Rivasa. We'll now go through turn number 17 and across the line. And Jacques does go quicker, but still a 0.3 of a second off the time there. So not quite making the pole position. So that is just about the qualifying done and dusted. We do have Craig. He's approaching the line, but that is Ronaldo that's just ahead of him. So does Ronaldo go quicker? Yes, he does. Ronaldo moves himself up into 5th place. So a great final lap there for him. And Craig, he goes even quicker. He gets himself up ahead of Marius. So the first top 5 drivers are separated by 0.43 of a second. This is going to be an absolute crack of a race this evening. So guys, while we're waiting for the race to get going, the guys are...
That is very close.
You can hear the drivers just talking in the background of how close it is. A quick word from our sponsor. So guys, if you would like to go check out Deliver Your Parcel, the details are in the description, but it is deliveryourparcel.co.za. All the information is on the website, and don't forget, every time you want to send a parcel, just quote SARCO as your reference and get your preferential discounted rate there. Dirkie coming on saying times are nice and close. Yes, they are. Dirkie, really looking forward to seeing how this goes up. Because it looks like that we're going to have the top 5 drivers battling it out. Who will be able to change up the strategy and take advantage of some of that clean air, we have seen it time and time again that the guys will have an early pit stop, and as we get closer and closer to the end of the race, there's just 2 or 3 drivers that start getting extremely close, and it definitely makes for a interesting final session there. Keep missing it.
Jacques, I see we're not going to do a full formation lap here.
Why not?
I think the setting on the server.
Oh, I see that now. That's not what we wanted. Well, I suppose it's the same for everybody. So, guys, good luck out there. Enjoy it, and we'll see you on the other side. So if it wasn't for the Porsche in the front there, you'd swear that this definitely was a Bentley front row, because there's 4 Bentleys up at the top there. So Chad Titus saying, go Marshall. We'll definitely will keep our eyes on Marshall, currently in 7th place. So let's see how he goes as we just exit. So we can jump to around about 3rd place as the guys head into the first corner here at Timberella, which is actually turn 2 and 3. A little touching there between Craig and Morris, but Morris has been able to get himself up into 3rd, and Jason's opened up a gap already out in front between himself and Jacques. Ronaldo down in 5th place, Stephen in 6th, Marshall 7th, Ashley in 8th place, and single file now as they head into turn number 7. They're going to start heading up towards the hill. And you can see that some overcast conditions have come out for the race. There was some variable cloud settings built into this, so the guys are not going to be able to get the maximum grip out of the cars here this evening, but it's all just going to be up to them just to take it easy, drive the car according to the conditions, and hopefully they'll be able to come home safely at the end. So everybody seems to be going through nice and calmly, no issues at this point. Jake still very much on the back of Jason, so 0.7 on the second there. We'll just see what those times are when they cross the start finish line, and Morris is also being pulled along here.
There goes the port.
And extremely close in the midfield here as well. You can just see that long queue of cars as they cross the start finish line to begin lap number 2. So Duncan, I'm pretty sure you're going to be shouting for Morris and his Porsche once again as Marshall goes very, very deep, taking a little bit of a curve there. I hope he's been able to avoid Ashley. Yes, he has. So no trouble there for Ashley being able to get himself up the order. So Marshall now unfortunately dropping down to 8th place. Saw that Pete was 0.2 of a second behind Marshall as Ashley touches the grass as he goes into the braking zone up at turn number 8. Now down the hill you can see single file through here through Minerali, and it's just about finding that rhythm and getting your gearing down, and that gets you a nice line on the way up towards the chicane at Radiata Alta. And this is that now as we see Ashley, he goes off. Looks like he had braked himself, but has managed to hang on to that position ahead of Marshall. So Craig now starting to close up to the back of Marshall. And I see that Dirkie saying, oh yes, all for the Porsche. Dirkie 100%. And there is somebody going into the pits that is...
Even.
Stephen, who has just jumped into the pits there. So I wonder whether that's a bit of a strategic point, because he was currently in, it was just ahead of Ashley there, so had a bit of clear ground there, so I wonder whether that was more strategic than anything else. But Craig putting a lot of pressure here on the back of the Porsche. But I think this is when the Porsche is going to start coming to its own again, is coming through the tight and twisty stuff. Is Morris is definitely able to get the Porsche up through these hairpins, as well as through turn 8, 9 and 10, a lot better than the heavier Bentleys. But I could be mistaken. We'll just watch Morris.
But he will.
Yep,
He'll suffer. So on.
You can just hear that rhythm of that gear changing down, and gets a great exit as we see a shot of Jason and Jacques going past. So 2.5 seconds is the gap there, and you can see that Morris has opened up a slight gap between himself and the Bentley. But once they get onto that start-finish straight, the Bentley gets the advantage of the slipstream, and he'll then start closing down on the slower top-end speed of the Porsche.
Oh, what a nice view.
Sorry, cameraman Tim just changed there to Ronaldo, because now we'll get a shot of all three. And interestingly enough, Craig decides that he's going to jump into the pits there. So he's now released Marius out in front, which I think might have been just a bit of a mistake. He should have just stayed a couple of laps there to keep that pressure. Marshall now goes into the pits as well. So a lot of very early pits happening here this evening. Just looking at Terran saying, "Sly Pete, love you my baby," holding thumb or fingers. Terran, I'm sure that you will really appreciate the support. No point watching these guys here, so let's jump to the race leaders, and that is Jason and Jacques. So this is a battle between the black and the green Mambas. And as I mentioned before, there are no team orders in the Mambas. The guys are get told to go and battle it out for all you can. And I'm seeing Morris has dropped down to 4th place, so I'm wondering whether he's now made a mistake, because 2.6 seconds he is behind Marshall, and there's Marshall, Ronaldo, apologies, Ronaldo, who's now up into 3rd. And he's 4.3 seconds away from our race leaders. They now head into turn number 13, then on the brakes. And just turn number 14 is just so deceiving. Just going to see whether I can't get a further view. Stuck here. Honestly, Dylan.
You pay peanuts, what do you get?
Exactly. Because I did this last time, and I don't know why it didn't save, so let's just make sure that we have it saved. Sorry guys, I know that this isn't what we should be watching. But now we can save it. There we go. That's it. So it looks like Jason ran himself just a little bit wide on the exit there, which has now allowed Jacques right up behind him. We'll have a look on the inside, and I still haven't got my far view that I was hoping for. That's the one I was looking for. There we go. So Jake's applying a massive amount of pressure on the back of Jason, and Dirkie saying lots of undercutting prayers coming on there. Dirkie, you're 100% correct. I'm pretty sure that that's what the guys are wanting to hope for, as Jason makes a mistake, taking way too much curb, going into turn number 3, and that now releases Jake's out in front, and Jason now down into second place. So 2.39 seconds is the gap there. So it's all going to depend on whether Jason is going to be able to close up this gap to start put that pressure back on Jake's, and hopefully get himself that position back. We do see that Morris has been able to work his way back towards Marshall. That was 2.6 seconds earlier on. So now that is just 1.1 seconds is the gap between Morris and Ronaldo, as Morris runs a little bit wide through Piratella. A little bit too wide there, but a much better view here coming up through Minerali, Aqua Minerali. Yes, Duncan.
Can you change to onboard view with Marius?
Yes, I can.
See if he's getting oversteer or understeer.
Looks like he's going to get the run on Ronaldo again. Ronaldo touches the dirt on the outside.
That's my boy.
Those sound like they are side by side, and that's confirmation of that. As they cross the line together, Morris is going to have the inside line as they just about touch. Ronaldo holding on to that line there. It's side by side, a little touch there between the two of them, and Ronaldo decides to just back off, lets Morris through. But talk about both committing into the corner. Absolute great racing there from both of them.
But that's the beauty of the Porsche. When it's committed, it goes.
So they'll now come down, back up the hill through turn number 7. And I see that James has now gone into the pits. He's currently down in 7th place. Let's just see where he comes out. I know that he's going to be looking at having a battle with Ryan. Let's just see where Ryan is. So he is now coming through the last corner. He's at Ravaza. So James still in the pits. And you can see James still hasn't moved. So it does look like Ryan is going to be able to hang on to that place. And James is going to be moving himself down into 10th position. Currently the closest battle on track, and it doesn't look like Ronaldo is just letting Morris get away just yet. Now I wonder whether that slipstream from Morris is now just helping along Ronaldo in his black and gold Mercedes-Benz. Let's just have a look at the lap times. Not giving me the lap times that I expected. I think I keep making that mistake, but Ronaldo definitely not letting that Porsche get away from him just yet. So Duncan, I've just got a message that's come here from Dirkie. And it is in Afrikaans, and it says "Die Porsche is so los soos my ouma se tuinhek," which basically translates that Porsche is as loose as my granny's garden gate.
Hectic.
But we all know what that means.
Yeah.
I do still think that that is coconuts friendly, so well done then.
Depends if you like it loose.
I cannot answer this.
No.
So we'll jump on board with Ronaldo. That is Morris that is in front of him. As they now head to Santarello. This was lots of outside curve there for Ronaldo. You can see that the car just wasn't stable for him to hit left-hander. 2 gears down, he should go down into second now, back on the power. Waited just a little bit later than I would have to get that power back on. Now, turn number 7. A little bit of understeer for Ronaldo going into there. Now up the hill. Now this is the should be tighter up on the inside apex and now down the hill to Akron Ronaldo. Takes a very wide exit down into second. A little bit of understeer there for Ronaldo, possibly just carrying a little bit too much speed. Just see how Morris is just starting to pull away a little bit ahead of him.
He's trying.
See Ronaldo's really pushing very hard, but see what happens. You start pushing, you start just overdriving the car a little bit, and that's when these little mistakes start.
Your gut takes over and your head sits back.
That's for sure. So Jacques are currently ahead because we see now Jason. Jason must have disconnected. Because there we got Jason who's now 3 laps down. So, see that we were back to 11 drivers. So it looks like Jason disconnected out of the server. He was in second place, so that's very unfortunate for him because he's not going to be able to capitalize on getting some more points there for this championship. So this is and with both Ross and Jacques Vermeulen are not driving here, Jacques is going to be able to move himself up the point standings and really bring the challenge to the guys up in front, because he will get himself ahead of Jacques, ahead of Ross. So that's definitely going to tighten things up at the top of the order now. So 100% there, Dirkie. I do agree with you there. It does look like that Ronaldo is just overdriving the car just a little bit. We should rather just slow that car down going in and get that acceleration on the way out. So currently the race leader with 27 minutes left to go. And Jacques, Morris, Ronaldo, Ashley and Pete still need to get their pit stops done. So, Ashley, are you able to hear us?
Yep.
So just in terms of the conditions, not quite a sunny day out there. What is the track conditions feeling like for you this evening?
Actually suiting my setup, which I thought was going to be much slower, much better. So I'm pretty happy with my pace at the moment.
So best lap currently a 1:45.0, and the last lap.
Yeah, not exactly the pace of the guys up in front, but it was much better than. Well, it is much better than what I was doing in practice. That's for sure.
He's having fun.
Really good. So this is what Ashley can currently see. Gets himself down towards the buzzer, number 14, down to second, exiting out of 59 power. Get a sense of what the top speed is going into the brakes, and then we'll jump into one of the benches and just get a straight line to Harrison. As he comes across his line. For the braking now, so that was 261 kilometers, 262 for the calculation. Just before the braking zone. So on board with my Jacques. Jacques makes a mistake going very wide, almost missing it here, so I wonder whether just a lack of concentration, whether he's picked up some sort of issue.
Commentator's curse.
Maybe just commentator's curse, possibly, yes. Top speed of Jacques in the banking. See right in the middle of that speedometer on the dash. And I'm actually quite surprised that it's 256. So that's Jacques is really backing up the rear there for him. Coming out of Tamburello.
Marius is caught up about 4 seconds.
Yep, that's just looks like Jake's just battling a little bit there with the car.
I feel a Porsche win coming on.
Anything can happen, and I must say that Ronaldo's doing absolutely superbly. He's just hanging on to the back there of Marius, and I just wish that he would just listen to what we're saying, just stop over-driving the car, a little bit slow on the way in, and get the acceleration on the way out, and he'll definitely get himself further up. You see that Jason's now gone into the pits, and I'm almost wondering whether Jason just wants to get this race done and bank himself that 11th place, get those points in the bag, so that he goes
We are at the halfway mark, still a way to go.
to the next couple of races. So let's see what sort of top speed the Porsche is able to achieve down the main straight. And we'll just, I thought it was going straight for that wall.
So did I.
So 252. So currently, Ashley, your 262 is not looking bad if you work on that straight run speed.
Yeah. It's not a great exit there.
They say the fastest doesn't always.
Yeah.
Consistency, boy.
I did do a 144, so
Do that 7 times a go.
So Ronaldo running wide there, so he's gonna just lose a little bit of time there between himself and Morris. But Morris had opened up a bit of a gap between the two of them. And now we've got Ronaldo within a second, so Ronaldo definitely fighting back here, nice and strongly. But I still want to see where Craig is in all of this, because he pitted very early, so did Stephen. 8 seconds is the gap between Stephen and Craig, and we know that Stephen had pitted, he was in about 6th position when he did so. So our race leader, Jacques, he now goes into the pits. So Morris now becomes the new race leader and beginning lap number 14. So Jacques is now moving, so that is Craig. Oh, no, I was about to say Craig couldn't have passed because Jacques was way out in front, but there's Craig now coming out of turn number 15. And there's Jacques now exiting the pits. So Stephen now, he too comes out of the last corner. This is Marshall now going into the buzzer. So it's going to be pretty interesting between Ashley and Pete, where they come out. Will they be ahead or behind Craig? And will they be ahead or behind Stephen? That will be the next question that will need to be asked. But Ronaldo definitely getting pulled along here by Marshall. Ronaldo lead by Marius. Come on, play. In shot is Ryan Abrams, who's about to be left by Marius and Ronaldo. The straight line speed of the Bentley should be able to stay ahead, or will he just get out the way? But so lots and lots of car lengths between the two of them. Nicely done there by Ryan, taking lines there through there, lots of curves, so you see he just moves on to the inside, will allow Marius to go through. Now coming out of Villeneuve, there goes Ronaldo around the outside, so great awareness there by Ryan.
I think they're going to pit together.
Yeah, if I was in Ronaldo's shoes, I would definitely just follow what Morris is doing.
Go and jump him in the pit lane.
Unless if Morris does get stuck behind another back marker, for instance, and he slows up, and Ronaldo is able to get into the pits and not have a back marker, he should be able to overtake him, because it's now should be just. It's number 2 seconds, so Morris has pulled away, and I think it might have been just a little time lost there, having gone through Villeneuve, that Ronaldo just lost a bit of that time there. So here's something interesting I've just seen, is that Craig is 10 seconds behind Jacques. And we know that when Jacques went and pitted, Marius was about 11 seconds behind Jacques. So according to that rough calculation, is that it looks like Craig might come out ahead of Marius at this current pace. So Ronaldo back, Ronaldo is definitely finding some pace in certain sectors of the track, because that 1.7 seconds is now down to less than a second. So it's definitely through sector 1 where the Merc is way quicker than the Porsche.
I think that's because he has time on the straight to think and breathe just for a second.
Yeah,
Personally.
So it all depends on where Morris decides to go and pit. And the interesting thing is, where does it leave Craig within this? So that is going to be very interesting. There's a 10-second gap between Craig and Stephen. So again, will they just slot in between the two of them? And then Pete, I think that he might come out just behind Marshall in terms of just looking at some of the times that are there now. So thank you, Dirkie, for the correction. Dirkie said it was 12.5 seconds between Marius and Jacques, as we now watch Ashley going into the pits. So we just need to see where Stephen is. So Stephen's now coming out of Variante Alta. He's now heading down the hill towards Ravaza. Ashley is still in the pits. He hasn't moved just yet. So Ashley, if you look on your track map, Stephen is now exiting out of the last corner. This is going to be extremely close.
Come on,
So
Carl.
there's the pit lane. Here comes Stephen
geez.
crossing the start-finish line, and looks like Ashley is going to be behind Stephen, and Ashley will be able to see the back of that black Mamba as Stephen heads into Tamburello. Sorry, Ashley.
Well, I started 9th, so 7 is okay from now. 2 positions up.
Very good. And man, oh man, half a second now is the difference between Ronaldo and Marius. And this is a time. Oh, could this be the moment that we were looking for? Ronaldo on an absolute flyer, closing up the time on Marius. And could Ronaldo leapfrog Marius and get himself ahead in terms of the pits? So here comes Jacques passing the pit entry. Marius is leaving the pits now, but we can just hear Jacques now going past. We should get that glimpse of Marius. No, we didn't quite get it. So that is Marius there now heading towards the entry. Where is Marshall? Marshall's further down. So Ronaldo is now your new race leader. 21 seconds is the gap between himself and Pete, and 32.5 seconds is the gap between Ronaldo and Jacques. But I'm pretty confident that Ronaldo is going to come into the pits now and get this open and done. So at least he does leave himself a few laps left to fight back. But where will Ronaldo come out? Will it be ahead or behind Marius? Duncan, what do you think?
In front.
And we know you're very pro Porsche, but Ronaldo's not going in now, so
He's putting some laps in.
putting some additional laps in. I wonder where he thought that he might be getting slowed up by Marius a little bit.
He doesn't need a lot, does he, to be fair, to jump past?
So, oh, little peek of the rear there, because I was just about to say that Craig is currently in second place, Morris in third, and those calculations were just about, they were out by about 2 seconds, so apologies there. But Craig has managed to leapfrog. Why am I backing with freaking leapfrog? I keep saying leap. Oh,
Reset.
yeah, let me just push the reset button. So Craig now starting to close up onto the back of, that looks like Pete. Sorry, Ryan, not you. No, it's not Pete either, but now Pete exiting out of the pits. So Craig's gone past, Morris has gone past, Stephen's gone past, Ashley, you are unfortunately going to be behind Pete because he is now exiting, and as you come around the corner there, you should be able to see him. It is going to be close into the braking zone, that's for sure. And his tyres are going to be a little bit colder, so we've got about half a lap to just put some pressure on him and hopefully force that mistake. So Ronaldo, race leader, 31 seconds is the gap between himself and Jacques.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. This is what it's all boiling down to with less than 10 minutes left. So Jacques, he's now heading down towards turn number 13. He's going to be going past Rabaza shortly. So we know that he will be up in the top. It is a long pit entry as well as a long pit lane. So Ronaldo now stops in his box. Does he lift straight away? The car is off, so he has hit a good stop there. Come on, you should be moving, Ronaldo, because now Craig's now going into the last corner. Ronaldo is now moving. And here comes Craig. It is going to be extremely close. And there is Marius. But where is Ronaldo? Is Ronaldo out? There's the pit exit. It is going to be close. So Ronaldo is behind Craig and side by side with Marius. That is absolutely incredible. So that pit stop just didn't work out there for Ronaldo. But we're going to have Ronaldo, Craig and Marius battling it out here for the next 8 or so minutes. It did look like Ronaldo did have some pace, so will he be able to close up? And Marius, he's got that gap down to 3 seconds between himself and the Bentley ahead, so we definitely have a race on here. And it looks like Ashley heard my call to say get that car behind the Bentley, put that pressure on. 1.1 seconds the gap between Ashley and Pete. Nicely done there through Timberella, now up into, sorry, that was Villeneuve, now up into the Toza, turn number 7. Is that Ryan in the background? No, that's not Ryan. I think that is, so it is, there it is. Okay, so that was James that we had gotten the glimpse of. It'll look to the inside, not close enough through there. Very tricky place for an overtake, but now Ashley should be able to get the drive out, set that car up on the inside and have a go in through Ultra. Not close enough just yet, but now will it be the exit speed?
That Merck's looking very solid.
It's now into the braking zone. Ashley is going to want to get a nice and clean exit out here. Get that car as close up behind the Bentley as possible. You know that the Bentley's got the straight line speed here over the Bentley's. Just here it's closing up so slightly. Ashley now moves to the outside. Just don't pull a rustle on us. Goes side by side. He's now on the inside, but little might be a touch, no touch there, and Pete manages to just squeeze himself through. And great driving there from both of them. So looking at the gap now between Marius and Craig, and Marius definitely on the charge. That gap now 2.1 seconds, 6 minutes left, and it does look like Marius is left Ronaldo behind him. He's nearly 3 seconds behind him.
Do you notice how the front of the Porsche bounced then?
I did. Taking a lot of curb there.
Is it that I think it happens on project cars when it's light of fuel?
Yes. So because of the Porsche, you've got your fuel tank that sits in the front of the car. As you start using it, the front end gets a lot lighter, and then you start getting that understeer.
Yeah.
So it looks like Ashley is not done with Pete just yet. This is another look, but he's got a great exit, just about glued to the back of that Bentley as they head into turn number 16. It doesn't look like he's got the straight line speed now going into Tamburello. Ashley goes too deep, so that's going to cost him some time. As about to say, I'm assuming that is Jason behind. That is the 619. Jason growing a little bit wide there. Seconds now is the gap between Marius and Craig. And 3.6 seconds is the distance between Ronaldo. So Ronaldo was looking really strong here for a podium, but unfortunately looking at the current rate of affairs, it doesn't look like he will get there. Across the line, 1.9 seconds is the gap. So with 3.5 minutes left, we've got 2 laps, and this race will be done. Jacques for the Green Mambas out in front, 18 seconds is the gap advantage that he has over Craig in the second place. Then we have Craig Fugglies, I think they call themselves. That is it indeed. So Craig currently 8th in the championship, so this is definitely going to help his cause, just moving a little bit further up the order. Then Marius 2 seconds behind, so Marius currently in a 6th place. This is also going to help him just close up some of those vital points between Jason, Ross and Jacques, as well as Stephen. Ronaldo, who's currently on the cutoff for a qualifier, he's in 11th place, so this will also help him just move a little bit further up, and that will enable him to follow the likes of Ashley. Stephen currently in 5th, he is 4th in the championship. This is going to hurt him a little bit because you'll have both Marius and Jacques moving ahead of him. Marshall, he's down in 12th position, and there isn't really anyone behind him in this championship at this stage, so it's just about him banking those points. Slight Pete currently in 7th. He's just going to tighten up those points between himself, Ashley, and Ronaldo. And Ashley, this result will just move him ahead of Rainmaster, but unfortunately that is all that he will get. Ryan in 9th place, good drive there for him. He's kept it nice and clean, nice and consistent. As well as I say that he runs wide, but he didn't. So great effort there, Ryan. Ryan in 9th place. Then James a little bit wide out turns number 8. But I'm sure he's just happy to be racing here this year. And down in 11th place, that is Jason, currently top of the table. He will bank himself some points. He's currently on 180. That might just leave him up on the top and just tighten up that gap between Jacques and himself with a few points left to go. And I see that Ashley's having a little look, and there's a little bit of a touch there. Ashley loses the rear, rejoins the track. Jason goes very wide, so Ashley will unfortunately stay in that 8th place as we get the confirmation that Jacques crosses the line for the start of the final lap. And 1.2 seconds is the gap between Marius and Craig. So an absolute great strategy there for Craig. Great pit stop, keeping himself in the clear air. He just hasn't been able to, Marius just hasn't been able to close up enough time there. You see 1.4 seconds is the gap now between Marius. So is there one last effort, one last little mistake from Craig that possibly allows Marius to move up the order? And Ronaldo, great drive there for him. I did expect him to have a podium, and then Craig, that sneaky strategy, got him up into 2nd place. So here we got Jacques heading down the hill towards Rivaza. But within a second is the gap between Marius and Craig. So Marius is definitely trying to make the most of where he is. Is there a late lunch in the second last corner? Well done, Jacques, but unfortunately, just want to see what happens here. Is there an exit? Is there a time penalty? Who knows? But an absolute great drive there for Craig. He comes home in 2nd place, and a 0.3 of a second is the gap there between Marius. Ronaldo 3.3 seconds further down the order, with Stephen in 5th. Marshall, a great finish there for him in 6th place. Pete in 7th. And we hear the Merc just slowing down into turn number 14. And there's Ashley now coming out of turn number 15. Ryan comes home in 9th place with James in 10th. And Jason finishes off in 11th position.
Hold on, guys. Ooh. Okay, Jacques. Get see on it is very well done. No, I couldn't get it. I tried my best. Little bit here and there, but I could not. It was to a third place, the very cool. And the battle was in Ronaldo was also there.
So welcome guys back into the commentary box. We're just going to wait for the top 3 drivers just to come and join us. We should be able to... let's just get that light back on. So the light just shines in the eyes and is extremely bright. So Ashley, I don't know if you can hear, if you could just get the drivers into the Discord for us, please. That would be much appreciated.
Guys, top 3, can you come to the Discord, please?
So Duncan, obviously you joined us from the commentary box, just watching the race. What did you think of that race from your point of view?
It's always interesting, nice and close at the end there, wasn't it?
And I just don't know how it always happens, but it just seems to happen like that. You just get these pit stops, the guys change the different strategies, and then all of a sudden the guys start just filtering in and definitely take it nice and close to the end there. Just waiting for Marius to join us, and I think that will be, no, that's Marius, that's Craig. Hello Craig. Hello my Jakes.
Hi Dylan. Marius said we must just excuse him for this interview. They're going to reset the router or something at the complex, so he won't be able to make the interview.
All right, no, 100%. So we'll go to you, Craig. Great strategy there for you. Went in nice and early into the pit stops, got yourself some clean track, and we were then watching in terms of where you would come out, and you just managed to get yourself ahead of Marius. But it looked like one or two more laps, and he would have got ahead of you. Craig?
I can't hear.
Can't hear you. Can we hear you? Can you hear us? Craig? Come on, Craig.
The sound travels slowly in Yugi.
Okay, Craig, try now. I'm not seeing you. Maybe I've muted you. No. You should be good to go.
I think he went out quickly and just gonna come back.
So Ashley, while we just wait for Craig, that little move that you attempted there on Pete, just take us through that.
Well, he braked early. Earlier than he did a brake check on me. Though I probably missed, but I don't know what happened. It just seemed like I arrived at the corner much quicker than he did. So maybe he was watching his mirrors. Maybe I was a little bit too hasty, and unfortunately, just tapped the rear of him. But fortunately, it didn't ruin his race, so he was able to carry on.
No,
and I just was able to limp home.
There we go, Craig. We see your little green blocks is now buzzing.
So you can hear me now.
Now we can hear you.
Fantastic. Like I was trying to say, about 2 laps before Marius went in, my front tire started to go. So I think it was something to do with setup. And I was kicking myself because I was doing 45s and thinking, you moron, you've thrown this all away. And then, coming down the straight, saw Marius in the pits. And, And then I was still worried quite a bit about Ronaldo because he had serious pace in practice. So, and I couldn't see exactly where he was. So, again, just kept at it and then got held up a little bit by Rafiki. I don't know what his real name is.
James.
We're going to have to wrap him over the knuckles a bit about blue flags because he's going to moan about me punching him into the hairpin. But I lost 3.5 seconds trying to get past him, so I made the call to knock on the door.
Craig.
But anyway, it all worked out. It was hell of a good fun, very unexpected, seeing as I got home from work and turned the PlayStation on and came and raced.
Well, then it's a great arrive and drive for you and a great result. But
Fantastic.
Ronaldo was just behind Marius. So when they came out the pits, Ronaldo was 2 seconds behind Marius. So you literally had the two of them chasing you down. But then it looked like Ronaldo was possibly just losing some tires because that gap eventually just opened up.
It also looked like Marius had a bit of a off, I think, at one point.
Yeah,
and that's why he lost a lot of time.
Yeah, Ronaldo did manage to get ahead of him, but then Ronaldo Marius came back and started putting that pressure on Ronaldo.
And then the pressure on me.
100%. Cool.
But we absorbed it. Yeah, good fun. Well done, Jacques. Fantastic drive.
Let's go to you, my Jacques.
Thanks, you too.
So you were chasing Jason for the first 12 laps or so just before he made a mistake, which then gave you the advantage to go ahead. And then once you got ahead, he was always just there, and it looked like we did miss it, but it seemed that he had disconnected and then did come back in, and then it was a very lonely race for you out in front.
Yes, absolutely. Dylan was lonely, but the fact that Jacques Racing Paul wasn't here tonight made it a bit easier for me tonight. And poor Jason, man. We were having a nice battle there, and I saw I was faster than him in sector 1. First turn, that little chicane, and I saw that I was definitely faster than him there, and it looked like he's going to make a mistake, so I just kept behind him there and waited for him to make that mistake, and he did that. And I was about 2.5 seconds in front of him, and that last chicane in sector 3, he made that mistake, and I just saw him, he spun out on that. It must have been that sausage curbs, and then all the guys just passed him, and I think he had some damage. He had to go in, and he lost it all there. And I had some nice lap times of a couple of 43s, which was nice there at the end as well. So my tires kept on. My tires was holding on very nicely there, but lonely race, and but I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was very, very nice.
No, absolutely awesome. Great to see. And all it's done is it's just closed up those points up at the top, with Jason having led now. So he will get just a couple of points for his 11th place. But the 60 points that now goes to you really puts you within a striking distance of him. And with Ross not getting any points this evening, that's going to drop him further down. So all it's done is it's just made the championship even tighter for the next 3 races to come. So it's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4-way horse there.
A 4-way horse, indeed. Absolutely awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. A quick thank you to our sponsor, Deliver Your Parcel. Guys, if you do have a delivery that you do need to get out, just go check out www.deliveryourparcel.co.za. The details are in the description below. And just remember to just use SARCO as your reference to get your SARCO preferential rate.
And guys, if you want to join us and become a member of SARCO, please check out our website. It's www.sarcoracing.co.za. Go check out our merchandise. All those sales from the merchandise does go towards running this whole show and bringing you this live action. So please support us and keep this going. And also you can check us out on YouTube and Facebook.
100%. Thank you, Duncan, for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have our one of our British internationals joining us in the commentary box.
No problem.
So, guys, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Awesome, right?
We'll see you on Monday, back for our GT3 sprint racing. Really looking forward to that. So, guys, enjoy it. Keep racing. And until then, thanks for watching. Yos.
Cheers, man. Bye.
Thank you.